you so much for joining us. My guest today, we're going to talk about a serious topic. Anna Gopian, founder, executive director, Tri-Circle Incorporated, and Christine Gagnon. Thank you very much. The two of you founded this group. You lost a son to drug disorder. You had issues yourself. How did this come together, and how did you form the board when you started it?
Well, I don't know. Do you want some clarity on that?
I want the whole story.
All right. Okay. Fantastic. Yes, executive director and founder, and Christine is our vice chair of our board of directors. Yep. And it's actually a vision that I had many years, even prior to meeting Christine and meeting Michael before he had passed. And
which is your son?
Yes. So it's evolved. It's amazing, and there's so many non-coincidental experiences that continue to happen. And as a woman in long-term recovery, being in the system and in different pathways of recovery myself, I just, things needed to change.
How did you find yourself abusing substances, and what were you doing?
I'm going to say it's not the particular substance that I'm going to get hemmed up on, you know what I mean? Because I look at the disease of addiction, and that's another part of the stigma. People get very focused on the substance, and I like treating the whole disease. So it started for me very, very young, and I'm going to say that it started due to a trauma. And my lack of vocabulary, having it be so young, and then going forward and surviving those experiences. So when the substance was brought into my life, when I tried something, and believe it or not, it was alcohol and then cigarettes and just behaviors and things, it just like I was predisposed after that. Family has history as well, so genetically I would see some of these things that I've learned over time now. So I think some of the coping mechanisms taken into my adult life really kind of exploded, and then substances changed over time.
You've been sober how long?
24 years, July 13th, 1995.
You know the exact date.
Absolutely.
We're going to talk more about Tri-Circle in just a second. Give me background about your son that you lost.
Sure. So I lost my son, Michael. It was July 17th of 2017. He had struggled with addiction for about 6 years. He had strong periods of recovery and heartbreaking relapses. When my son had passed away, he was technically in recovery. He thought he could try something, and what ended up was sold to him was pure fentanyl. So he left behind devastated parents. He has a daughter, and she is 2, and a sister. And my friendship with Anna, I have been in a recovery advocate before my son had passed, so I've been in this for a little while. It was fate, because with Anna and all her experiences, and me being a parent trying to get my child into recovery or help, that's exactly what Tri-Circle is going to be. It's
3 phases.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. And how did you come up with the 3 phases, and what are those phases, Anna?
Well, the 3 phases actually started in phase 3. So my friends, people that care about me, know how grandiose I can get, and I really want to go to solve the problem. But it was so large, I had to break it into 3 phases. And then I saw the 3s just had so many wonderful connotations behind it. So I was really going to work off of that. Phase 1, we're in phase 1 now. Looking to complete that would be having our wellness center. We're hoping to start in the beginning.
So that's the wish list, right? Having a bricks and mortar place.
Yes, yes. Well, we have an office in Middlefield, Connecticut right now, and I'm so grateful that that has happened for us, because when it comes to grant writing and things like that, you really do need a location. But at this point, from our recent funding that we had received, we will have 12 meetings in 6 towns. So the brick and mortar isn't even where the meetings are. That's where all our board action and advisory board stuff goes on. So we're looking in that same location, moving to a larger office space in February to open our outpatient program, which once we get the wellness building, the wellness center, we'll be moving it there or having it in addition to. That would be phase 1.
When you start talking about Tri-Circle and the 3 phases and getting into recovery, Do people gravitate toward that? I mean, you started this just saying, I have to do this. What has happened that you didn't expect?
It's breakneck speed is what's happening.
Yeah.
You know,
Because so many people are affected, right?
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And Christine's one of many amazing people that have come to the table to really serve. Volunteers, this is all volunteer driven at this point. We're subcontracted when our support groups, we have Hope and Support and Hope After Loss. All those meetings are co-facilitated. One person is licensed and one person is, like myself, a paraprofessional. So has lived experience with substance use disorders and mental health, and also is educated in the field, so we can kind of speak on behalf of the loved one. Sometimes we're able to engage and really work through the changes that have to happen for the family component. Because a lot of the times, even with Christine and her experiences, being part of Hope and Support and then having the loss, I want to look at this whole epidemic. Everybody's focused on the epidemic, prevention, treatment, and recovery. Fantastic, but we need to look at all of it. The people that we've lost and the families and the folks that are left behind. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming you did everything in your power to help your son.
Yeah, but there's just roadblocks. I mean, there's roadblocks.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, let's. And that is where, you know, as far as insurance barriers, HIPAA. My son is getting drug tested at 17. I don't know what's in his system, and they're not going to tell me. Getting into treatment, making sure that they have enough substances in their system before they accept them. Having a relapse in a treatment center and getting kicked out and nowhere to go. Financially, it pretty much almost broke our family. Thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And a lot of, you know, there's a lot of organizations that are out there, and a lot of people who have been doing this for a long time. And Tri-Circle is a different approach, and it's almost like the term insanity, doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. There needs to be a change.
What's the big change that Tri-Circle is doing that maybe other organizations are not?
well, it's going to happen in phase 3. So we just briefly explained phase 1, because all that will happen in that building, the wellness center, 30-day calendar, the outpatient program, having engagement for employment right there and present. So that's a big obstacle too.
Right.
Housing is phase 2. So we're going to really take that into consideration. But the big place where everything will be different is a 15-month residential program in 3 5-month cycles. It's amazing.
Now, how did you come up with that? Is that based on all kinds of research? Tell me about that.
Lived experience, that would be considered research. So we need to collect the data so we can go forward and definitely take it into consideration so it's utilized. And we see the nucleus of the whole 15-month program to be a department of supervision. So we can continue to integrate educational components as well, so we can reduce the client to staff ratio. When we're bringing in residencies and internships, all the departments are working within the clients that we're serving. So we're learning the lived experiences, yes, we're utilizing that, but the life skills. Right within the center, you're given the time needed to really get to the story before the story. Why was the substance needed in the first place? Usually, and a lot of the time you've heard under the circumstances that the drugs are utilized because of a real injury. Something's happened in that regard. Well, not everybody is having it happen in that way. Sometimes you need to talk about it and find out that there's a story before the story.
So you're saying it's just not comprehensive enough what's out there.
Yes.
And you're going to take a new model or one that you've already seen and make it comprehensive so that, that they don't get out in 30 days and then, because that doesn't
With
work.
nothing different.
Because, because you can be sober, but are you really in recovery? A lot of these people who have overcome that drug addiction, they don't know how to balance a checkbook. They don't know how to do laundry. They don't know how to apply for a job, write a resume. This is comprehensive, so it's serving that individual mind, body, and spirit.
Is the state helping yet? I mean, have you gone to the state with these ideas, and are you getting help in that in that manner?
Right now, for the Hope and Support groups, we just started interacting and writing letters. Christina's been instrumental in having that happen. So some of the groups are being funded through the state of Connecticut right now. The long-term goal, not yet, because we really have to have that documented in phase by phase. Sure. But when we talk about the comprehensible components of this, the cafeteria or the kitchen, housekeeping, the mechanics, the landscapers, the marketing department, if every one of those departments has a working component to it, the life skills are going to be, you know, experienced, the team building opportunities, the checkbook and all of that.
Sounds like you're building a family.
Yeah.
In many ways.
Yeah. Because we want people to not just, you know, be in recovery and be successful.
Thrive in life.
Yeah, thrive in life, because right now, a lot of times, you just see the recidivism.
Recidivism.
When they come in, they go out.
You just see it, and you know, people are saying they've been in the, you know, treatment centers 8 times, 10 times. So this, this really is, it's wonderful, and that is the hardest hurdle, and I take it to heart as far as money, as you mentioned. Trying to find different grants, trying to find help from you know, some philanthropy groups, foundations. So I am writing hundreds of letters, and just, but I really do believe that we have a case can be made, because we're not winning this.
And drugs aren't the problem. They're actually the solution to a longer problem. That's what we keep talking about in regards to how are we different. We're taking that into consideration. So when people are leaving, not only are they going to give back to, and the 3-phase continues to cycle, right? Cyclical. That's what we're, not recidivism, but cyclical into the give back and the, you know, the selfless service of what's being offered in life in the program.
Well, I think you've got a great start. You've got great heart behind this. I'm sure years ago you thought of this concept, can I do it, can I do it? And now these baby steps, and you're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you both for coming on and talking about this, and I wish that I can see this bricks and mortar one day.
Coming.
Where are we from? Do you know what city it'll be in? Do you have
I
any
have
idea?
a hope, and it's what we're, thank goodness there's a board of directors that kind of like hook me in and keep me straight. We have a couple different ideas. I have a hope of where I grew up to be where it is, which would be Wallingford.
All right.
But we're taking it doesn't have to be in one place. That's the whole thing. But the wellness center, it's coming. And thanks to, you know, the concert that just recently happened.
Yes, CT Realtors and us and everybody that was involved.
We're applying for that grant as well, so we're hoping to have our fingers crossed for that as well. So,
well, thanks for doing this hard work. Thanks for sharing your story and your story with us, and all the luck in the world.
Oh, thank you.
Go to the website, because we have an amazing PSA.
And it is.
Yes, it is amazing. Yes, we have amazing.
Tricircle.com.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thanks, girls.
Thank you.
Spend all night kissing, and if one was right here, then who else is missing? Got a little sidetracked, if I'm so wishing I found the keys to the door, but it's also a metaphor. Things keep locked in the grocery store, but mine just to save time. I'll skip right ahead to the last ride.